Honeybees are very important to the environment, the economy, and humans. Bees are the only insect that produce food eaten by humans, and their honey is the only food that includes all the substances necessary to sustain life. Honeybees support the economy very much because their economic contribution is nearly $15 billion. Plants have a very big reliance on the bee population. Blueberries and cherries have a 90% dependence on the bee population, and the crop for blueberries is worth $593 million. Almonds are entirely dependent on the bee population, and the crop for almonds is worth nearly $3 billion. More than 70 of the 100 crops that provide 90% of the world's food population are pollinated by bees. Humans use honeybees to their advantage because an average American eats about 1 pound of honey a year. But natural causes and pesticides may endanger the plants and animals and food needed in the world.
Honeybees sustain us by pollinating all of the flora around us. So like you saw the bees coming in and out of the hive with the pollen, they leave pollen everywhere, they pollinate, and they proliferate all of the flora in our environment, which is terrific. And they also provide us with honey.
Honeybees have been an important part of our environment for years and years. They have provided humans with honeybees, wax, and most important, pollinate plants. They have to pollinate plants, crops, trees. The U.S. migratory beekeepers are extremely important because they transport beehives inside boxes around the U.S. 31 billion bees are in California. Between November and February, the farmers need to rent bees from migratory beekeepers so their crops can be sufficiently pollinated. On average, 2.5 million flowers are pollinated by honeybees and other pollinators. The crops that bees pollinate in California are corn, cherries, plums, avocados, and apples.
Pollinators can vary all sorts of small animals: birds, butterflies, moths, bats, flies, some mosquitoes, and obviously bees are pollinators. Most pollinators find different ways. For example, butterflies glide while bees hover. During the day, butterflies, bees, and flies will pollinate. At night, bats and most moths will pollinate. Moths and bats pollinate white or dull night flowers. Butterflies see more colors than most bugs, and butterflies taste with their feet. Some butterflies will drink from mushy clay to enhance their plumage on their wings.
Due to colony collapse disorder, 40% of the U.S. bee colonies have vanished in 2015 alone. But in recent years, a total of 70% of the honeybees have died. Scientists have struggled to find the cause of colony collapse disorder. Colony collapse disorder is 3 times as likely to affect bees when they collect pollen because there is a parasite called Nosema serene that is on all particles of pollen. Researchers have collected pollen samples from East Coast fruit crops and gave it to healthy bees. The results showed the bees were not resistant to the infection of the parasite Nosema serene. There are plenty of things we could do to help the bees, such as going online and finding pesticides for your garden without harming bees or any other insects.
Honeybees sustain us in many ways, but we don't sustain them. Neonic toxicides is the base of most pesticides. The problem is it's killing our bees. Several neonics are made by a German company called Bayer, but since 2013, neonics were outlawed in the European Union. Neonic toxicides are a newer class of pesticides. They affect the general nervous system of insects, resulting in paralysis and death. More commonly include clethodim, imidacloprid, and thimerosauxin. In 2014, the Harvard School of Public Health released a new study suggesting that even small amounts of neonics can greatly harm honeybees. But neonic toxicides may not be the only problem. Some studies are showing that genetically modified organisms made by Monsanto also should part in the honeybee deaths. Although they don't make the chemicals in pesticides, they encourage it and lace their plant seeds with neonics. This plant will now kill a bee or pollinator when it goes to get the pollen. The world is growing too fast for us not to have honeybees, so we need to do something to sustain them.
Is there anything that you would like to say about bees? Like a message?
Yeah, I would like a lot of people have been very afraid that I have a beehive, and they're afraid to go near the bees. But the bees are very docile. These are honeybees. They're not yellow jackets or hornets or wasps. They're very, they're kind of sweet little creatures. And they're really docile, and it's really easy to have a hive at home.
Bees are in trouble. To help save them, we can stop using pesticides and GMOs, buy natural fruits and vegetables, raise money for Friends of the Earth, and donate to society. The world's food supply depends on bees, and they depend on us, so we need to do all we can to sustain them.